Hey guys, real quickly before this video I want to highlight the giveaway that's happening for my Patreon supporters this month for June of 2019. We're going to be giving away this 3D printed model from Printable Scenery for Patreon supporters. So if you want to get in on the raffle, for every $1 that you're supporting my channel, you have a ticket towards winning this prize. If it's past June of 2019, go ahead and click below in my Patreon link anyway, and you can see what this month's raffle prize will be. Good luck to you.
Hello, welcome to episode 2.5 of Painting with the Noob. I'm Roger, and this is my friend Gamer Geek. The Gamer Geek did episode 2 on his own, going over some of the basic washes. I was sick, I couldn't be there, I was really bummed. But anyways, we're on episode 2.5. We've received our allotment, our first wave 1 of Joan of Arc, and it's absolutely amazing. I was just gushing unboxing this one. There are so many unboxing videos out there. We're not going to go into any of that. But it's just so much fun to open up this set. I'm so happy I fully kicked and backed this project. Anyways, today we're going to go over priming. We're doing several different kinds of priming. We're going to step you through what we did, and we did these primings to show some of the different effects that are going to result. So we started with our wolves. The wolves are the super easy, quick approach, get some paint on, get some of these basic techniques under your belt. There's only 2 things you got to do is prime and wash. We did a little bit more beyond that with a little bit of highlighting of their manes and things like that we're going to show you. And then just a wash after that. So we're stepping you through each of those processes. So we're doing the bowmen, we're doing the skeletons, we're doing the ghost, and we're starting with the wolves. In this episode, we're just going to get through the wolves. In the next episodes, we're going to show you the ghosts and the skeletons, because they're both easy, before we start getting into the archer.
We're also going to be experimenting with different kinds of primers, and so one of the questions that both of us are exploring is it better to start off with a gray or white primer and do block painting and then doing a wash on top of that? Or is it better to prime in black where you already have shading and you're just putting on a coat of paint and you don't have to wash at all? So we want to help you guys by trying out both, right?
Yeah, and seeing the effect, right? So you will see, and so these are all a matter of taste, right? And what you think looks coolest, ease of approach and speed as well. So, you know, how much time do you actually want to spend in getting the various effects, right? So again, we're just going to keep building on each episode, going through each of these techniques and steps and approaches, right? And hopefully we'll all be better painters at the end of it.
That's right. So without further ado, we'll go ahead and show you how to prime. So we're hoping that because they're so small, the spray won't blow them away, so you have to be extra careful. Also, because we're spraying gray on gray, it's not always the easiest to tell whether or not you're getting a good coat. And it's always better to do a couple light coats than one really dark coat. And as you can see, some of them are being blown away a little bit. That's okay. So we're going to wait for this to dry and then flip them over and do the other side.
Okay, so Gamer Geek did one side. I'm going to prime the other side just to see the Noob technique. Gamer Geek just also told me to kind of prime into the base. That's good. He also likes to lay his minis on the side like this for an easier prime. So I want to keep it far enough away that I'm not going to blow them and put that nice little coat on it. How's that look, Gamer Geek?
That looks good. And the purpose of the primer is it really helps with the adhesion of the acrylic paint when you put it on there. But that's going to work out really well.
I know we want to mix this, shake these cans up really well. You can see how uneven some of my at the ends are here, right?
Yeah, go ahead. Try switching the side, yeah, and hitting it at a different angle, and that might help. So now we're going to go ahead and go with the white with the skeletons as well as with the ghosts. Here, I'll come at it from the side as well. And the other side, just to make sure we got it all.
We've got several different types of priming and washing and highlighting we're going to do to block this. We're started with the nice and easy figures we thought would be the path of least resistance to show everyone how to paint. And so we've just got these wolves, and that's what Gamer Geek's going to show me first, how to slap some paint on after priming them. And he tells me that these are going to be a really quick and nice, effective wash that we're going to put on these things, and that figure is basically going to be done. So if you didn't already see Gamer Geek's video on washing, that was kind of a basic tutorial for one of the most primary techniques used in miniature painting. I recommend you go back and view that one.
Alright, so we're going to go ahead and tackle probably what's going to be the easiest thing to paint out of this whole set, and that are the wolves. And the reason why these are going to be really easy is because they're already primed gray, and all we need to do is put a wash on them. And so I'm going to go ahead and use Army Painter's dark tone and see what that looks like, and if I need to, I'll switch over to the strong tone if this ends up being too black. So all you do is just go over it like this and get a liberal amount. And see how it fills in the crevices and provides natural shading for them. So, and when it dries, it isn't quite as dark as what it's showing when it is wet. So I'm going to go ahead and let that dry, and let's try the strong tone, which is not quite as dark as a dark tone, and make a comparison to see which one looks better. So I did notice that the strong tone has a little bit more shade of brown to it, a dark brown. And so it has a slightly different effect to it. But as you can see, this is pretty easy. And this is why wash is really simple, because it provides instant shading for you. So what we're going to do while we're waiting for these two to dry is just try a little bit of variation if you did want to add some color to it. And so all I'm doing is grabbing some white, and here I'm just using craft paint. Whenever I use black or white, I really use craft paint just because I use so much of it that I don't want to spend the almost $3 for one of these when I can get craft paint for $1. So with wolves, you might opt to just lighten the face like this, or you can choose to lighten the mane, it really doesn't matter, and the front of the paws, like right at the ends. And that just gives you a little bit of variation if you want it. And as you can tell here, I'm not trying to get it in the crevices or anything like that. I'm just basically dabbing it so that it's on the lower part of the legs, like that. Alright, now that the white is dry, I'm going to go ahead. I still have some of my wash here remaining, so
Using the darker wash, right, Gamer Geek?
this one is still the strong tone.
Strong tone.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not quite as dark, although I'm running out. A brownish color rather than the full almost black shade. So I'm just slathering it on here just like I did with the other one. And some people will choose to first wash the whole thing and then just add the white dots. But the reason why I like doing the white first is because the wash almost gives it helps blend where the white and the gray touch, and so it just functions better, I think, overall.
And just a note about the washes, they're going to take some time to dry. So you're going to have to wash them, set them down, and let them dry for a while if you plan on doing any other painting to them later on. Alright, so now the Noob's going to come in here and just repeat what the Daft Hand did. And I'm actually going to even use Gamer Geek's brushes here. So first I'm going to do that lighter wash, the dark tone. Okay, and just slather it on there like Gamer Geek was doing. And I can already see the consistency of this stuff. It's pretty oily. I didn't expect that, Gamer Geek. I expected it to be a little bit runnier. Is it just drying out on us, or?
It is drying a little bit out, especially underneath the strong light. So I think things are going to dry a little bit more than.
I got to get into the camera here. Sorry about that, guys. I'm kind of new at this. That's why it's painting with the noob. All right, I think that's got enough on there. Okay. Let's see if I can't figure out how much paint to apply. Just the very tip there, I think, like that. And then we're just going after a snout.
You can do a little more of the face, actually, where the eyes are.
Okay, so but Gamer Geek says to just get the whole face of him there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see that. Okay. And then we'll just highlight his paws here a little bit. Like you said, you want to keep that primer so that wash can get down in between the cracks. So we don't want to force paint into all of these places. You can already tell how experienced Gamer Geek is just by the way he can use this camera. So, you know, it does take a lot more time. Gamer Geek over there, he really knows what he's doing, and is able to just use that. See, you can even see I'm splitting my brush. He's able to keep it a lot more intact. I'm trying to get in there behind it, but I think I'm just going to call that good.
Yeah, looks good. And you don't need to worry about the base because we're going to be coloring those anyway.
Yeah.
A green. So.
I switched up my brush halfway through the painting. I started using this brush, but what happened was when I took my brush here and put it in the water to get it ready, I had too much water on it, and the water got really thin on the wolf there. You can kind of see that paw right there. See how that's kind of thin, and then I kind of went back and forth, so it got a little sloppy, and you can see all the other paint all around because I'm kind of in a hurry. And the back really shows how I only got like one side of that foot and not the other side. See that over there? Again, because the paint was too runny. So make sure you get the water out of that paint. Here's some of the earlier ones I did, and they came out quite a bit better before I decided to change brushes and whatnot. So yeah, that paint consistency is a real booger. It's just going to take practice and time to make sure you always got the right amount of paint on your brush.
Alright, so just by way of reference, I used Avocado Americana, and I'm going to be using this for most of our bases. So Roger and I thought it's a good idea to just paint them green to match most of the tiles that's in the game, and it's the fastest way. Some folks can choose to flock, but we think that at this scale that's a little bit overboard and would take a lot of time. And so we decided to go that route, but I think it looks great. What do you think, Roger?
Yeah, that green really gives a nice contrast. It's really the finishing touch and just makes it all come together.
So that really is how simple these guys are. So as a first step, especially for new painters, I think this is a great one to tackle and just get used to using brush and washes. And as Roger made these alpha wolves, feel free to experiment with different colors, and you can see how doing the wash really provided the shading that they needed.
Quick question: what if we didn't prime these gray? So we made gray wolves, right? But what if you wanted to do a brown wolf? How would you wash that?
In exactly the same way. And so as long as you paint or prime in a light brown, you'll be able to use the exact same, either the dark tone or the strong tone, in order to get that effect. In fact, I can show you. So obviously these are much bigger. This is from Shadows of Brimstone, the werewolves. And so this is sort of your stock gray, where I highlighted again the snout and the edges of the paws, the white, before washing them. But this is a brown one, a brown version of it. So if you want to go for brown, or if you want to mix up your wolves, you can definitely do that. Just put a layer of brown on before you wash it, and you'll get the exact same effect. And then here I have my alpha being a white werewolf, and you'll notice that the wash that I used here wasn't any of these, but was a blue wash that I made with my homemade sauce of the Future Floor Wax. But if you don't have that, you can just water down a bluish, grayish paint and wash it over. You might need to highlight again with white just to get the fur to stand out again, because water as a medium doesn't create the best washes. But if that's the way you have to go, and this is what we're going to do with the ghosts. We're going to actually do this color of grayish blue to make the ghosts sort of stand out.
And just as a note, he mentioned this furniture floor polish wash. That's kind of an advanced technique, and we'll get into. But that wash is going to allow you to wash in a lot of different colors, right? Because you can make it on your own and add whatever colors you want to it. So,
absolutely. And I think Roger did a great job. So again, these aren't hard at all.
No.
Right?
And they're fast. They're quick.
Yep. So this is great practice, or a good first assignment before we go ahead and tackle on some of the archers and the skeleton crew as well.
In our next episode. Okay, and so just in summary today, we've gone through all of these primings, some basic washing, and applying a bit of effect before we did the wash. Gamer Geek kind of stepped through each of these figures. I do want to show you that while I was painting, I was using my headset. And I'm telling you, for these small guys, as the noob, I needed it. So I'm sorry if I wasn't quite holding the figure in view all the time, because I kept pulling it towards myself to look for how to paint and everything. I'll get a little better over that. Gamer Geek can just put that right where he wants that paint, right? And we's the noobs are like, you know, kind of mashing the paint in there and stuff. We talked about that a little bit.
But just like anything else, you know, practice makes perfect. And so what we want to say is that this should be accessible to everybody. And go ahead and ask any of the questions or comments that you have below. That's a way that we can also address the issues that you might be running into. So we're more than happy to continue to follow what you guys need to hear through this series.
Thanks, guys.
Great. We'll see you next time.